Hi, in this quick tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use Miniconda on Rescale. We're going to do that by creating a job. So click on the top banner for a new job. You can then start by giving it a name. We're now going to follow the basic job framework that specifies inputs, software, post-processing, and hardware in order to define and submit a job. For inputs, you can choose to upload files directly from your computer or add them from cloud storage if you already have them on your Rescale account. I'm going to leave this portion blank for now. The next step would be to choose the Miniconda application. In this case, we're going to start with a stripped down environment in which we're going to be able to load the packages either by running the Conda install commands or the Python package commands to install it. A third option is to start this cluster with a sleep command, which is going to give us access to this cluster for the allotted amount of time, in this case 3 hours, and we can SSH into the cluster to build those packages. This is useful when building an environment for the first time or when debugging with the environment. The next step would be to choose your hardware. There are multiple different core types available from different cloud providers, depending on the clock speed, memory, interconnect, and storage options offered. Pick the core type that best fits your needs and scroll down to the bottom to choose the number of cores that you want to use. You can also set a maximum wall time as a precaution. The next step is a post-processing. This step is entirely optional and just gives you an additional ability to add a Python or a shell script that will be executed at the once the Conda process is completed. We're going to leave this blank for now. Once you define this, you're ready to submit your job, or at any point after defining those steps, you can just go to the bottom of the top right corner of your screen. The cluster will now be provisioned by going through 4 different stages, in which Rescale will first validate your inputs, then start the cluster, provisioning the resources and adding the Miniconda installation, and then it's going to run your job. It's on this third step in which we're going to be able to access the environment and use it. I'm going to pause for a moment where the cluster gets provisioned. Now that my cluster is running, I have now access to the live tailing window in which I can monitor files and look at them as they're running in my work directory. And if I scroll down, I can now SSH directly from my browser. You can also SSH from your computer if you have your API keys. From here, you can now install any packages and interact with the cluster. It is important to mention that the working directory of the cluster would be found under work. If you have an array of clusters or a multi-node cluster, you also have access to the shared storage across multiple clusters. And that would be under work shared. Any file that you create under this directory will be available for you to download, or if you stop the cluster, it will be automatically copied back into your cloud storage. So for instance, if I create a quick file called test, and then I scroll back up to my live tailing, I can see that this file is now available. Once I'm done with the cluster, I can stop it, and my files will be automatically saved back into my cloud storage. Once the cluster gets shut down and terminated, those files will be available under the results where I'll be able to download them. I'm gonna pause again while this happens. The cluster is now stopped and the files are now available for me to download. You can select the individual files, or you can download the entire set of this job. And that's it. I hope this was useful. This is how you can use Rescale to set up your Miniconda environment and interact with a running cluster. Thank you.